We are live, you guys. They just called Sharon Latner's to the stand, so we are going to get right into it. Get some captions. And you guys know the drill. If you think another feed has better volume, we can switch on a break.
Mr. Atkins, you can
Here we
call the
go.
state's next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state calls Ms. Sharon Latner to the stand.
Okay.
Raise your hand. You swear firm testimony given the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
Have a seat. Spell your first and last name for the court, please.
Sharon Latner, SharonLatners.
Good morning, Ms. Latner, and welcome back.
Good morning.
Now, Ms. Latner, I am going to approach with what's been marked as states 1 Juliet Juliet through 1 Juliet Juliet Alpha and Bravo. Now, Ms. Latner, if you can take a minute and look through those 3 exhibits and just look up at me when you're ready.
Nope, we didn't miss anything. It's just they already called the
What
first
are those,
witness.
Ms.
They started
Latner?
like 5 minutes early.
One John is CAD report.
Can you pull that, mic towards your?
This one?
Yeah, that one. Thank you.
Exhibit 1. 1 John 1. I'm sorry, 1 John, then 1 John 8 is a copy of the CAD report for the incident.
And what is that disc, Ms. Latner's 1 JJ Bravo?
911 calls.
And Ms. Latner, do you recognize those?
Yes,
And are they a fair and accurate depiction of the CAD reports and the 911 call associated with this incident?
yes,
And before testifying, Ms. Latner, did you review and mark that 911 call on 1 Juliet Juliet Bravo?
yes.
Your Honor, at this time, the state moves to admit states exhibits 1 Juliet Juliet and 1 Juliet Juliet Alpha and Bravo.
You're admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state is publishing 1 Juliet Juliet. Now, Ms. Latner, what is the incident number for this CAD report? Or what are the last 4?
You have 0288 and 0292.
What is the date of this CAD report?
April the 28th, 2015.
And for specifically 1 Juliet Juliet, what call type and description was this call?
Call came as shots fired. Officer changed it to 86, which is vandalism. The call came in as shots fired, which was a 25. Officer changed it to 86, which means vandalism.
Ms. Latner, in your experience with APD, what are some type of situations where an 86 vandalism could come across on a CAD report?
If our operator called, sorry, if a caller called in and says car been vandalized.
Sorry, guys.
What was the location address for this incident?
2517 Donnelly Harwell Parkway, Northwest Atlanta.
Are you familiar with that location, Ms. Latners?
It's a club over there.
That's fair enough. Now, Ms. Latners, I'm going to publish what's already been admitted as 1 Tango Alpha. Now, Ms. Latners, a couple weeks back, did you and me talk about 1 Tango Alpha?
Yes,
And what is the address of 1 Tango Alpha?
551 Woods Drive, Northwest Atlanta.
Ms. Latners, you actually don't have that before you. You have, if you look on, is your screen working on that laptop with the Zoom?
Yes.
I just published an exhibit you don't have physically before you.
Okay.
What is the address for 1 Tango Alpha?
On this screen, it says 2517 Donnelly Hardware Parkway, Northwest Atlanta.
Is that the same address as 1 Juliet Juliet we were just discussing?
Yes.
Your Honor, republishing State's Exhibit 1 Juliet Juliet. Now, Ms. Latners, was this a 911 call or officer-generated CAD report?
Officer generated CAD report.
What time was this CAD report generated?
Officer pulled out on the call at 02:20 a.m. hours.
What time was the call? And is this 1 Juliet Juliet, Ms. Latners?
Say that again?
Is this 1 Juliet Juliet?
Yes.
Is the dispatch time and the call received time the same?
Yes.
Is that because it was officer generated?
Yes.
Now, what time was this call cleared?
It cleared at 04:34 a.m. hours.
Now, do you see on page 1, Ms. Latners, under unit information, there's a number of, it says SEC unit and then has numbers?
Yes.
Now, what does that indicate?
Well, it looks like off-duty unit was working at the club. He pulled out. And once he come over there and he says shots fired at the location, most of every unit in that zone 1 is going to go to that location. So that's why you have the different units out there at that location.
So do each of those units that have a different number reflect a different officer?
Yes.
And roughly, is that about how many units do you see listed on page 1?
$12 units.
Now, Ms. Latner's turning to page 2. Do you see at the top, does it continue to list different unit numbers that responded?
Yes.
How many do you see on the top of page 2?
5 units.
So in total, is it about 17 units that responded to this call?
Yes.
Now, do you see beneath that, Ms. Latner's, where it has unit times and has a number of codes?
Yes.
What code is A alpha?
That means the unit arrived on the scene.
What code is EN
En route.
and BU?
Back up.
So Ms. Latner's, is page 2 of this, is this indicating when various officers are arriving or en route to that location?
Correct.
Now, further down, Ms. Latner's, do you see where, and you had stated to the jury, do you see on page 2 where it stated that the count was a 25 for shots fired?
Yes.
And does it list that count changing to an 86 further on in the CAD report?
Not on the second page, it doesn't.
If you turn to page 3, Ms. Latner, do you see where there's a code for RT?
Yes.
What does that code mean?
That means that the unit is sitting in his car on his MDT running different information, tags, person wanted.
And Ms. Latner's is short on CAD reports is TXT. What is that short for?
TXT,
Yes, ma'am.
that's the information coming back for his MDT.
And what about LIC?
License.
Now, Ms. Latner? One brief moment, Ms. Latner.
And just heads up, all of the streams seem to be the same volume today, so this is the best we've got. So the point of calling a 911 dispatcher is twofold.
Ms. Latner, I'll
Timing
walk you
and
through
to get in 911 calls
Starting
to hear
on
state of mind of the caller.
Page 3. You see the time 2:27:57 a.m. on the top of page 3.
22750, what?
57.
Yes.
Can you tell the jury what that indicates?
That indicates that the unit is running someone tag. Well, it shows license, I'm sorry, correct, license.
And what are the last four of that license?
4209.
Now, Ms. Latner's a little bit further down at 229:34, kind of in the middle of the page. Do you see the code at 229:34?
They're running another license plate.
Is that a different last four of the license plate?
Yes, 7542.
And Ms. Latner's kind of towards the bottom of page 3 at 251:57. Do you see that code?
Yes,
Is that a different last four than the previous two?
yes,
Is that another vehicle and license that's being ran?
yes,
Now, turning to page 4, Ms. Latner, you see at the top, at the time, 3:12:15 a.m.
okay.
What code or what is happening on the CAD report at 3:12:15 a.m.?
They're running another license plate, 0994.
Turning Ms. Latner to 3:16:49, kind of towards the middle of the page, do you see that?
Yes,
Can you tell the jury what that indicates at 3:16:49?
they're running another license plate, 9521.
Ms. Latner's turning to 3:23:49 a.m., kind of towards the bottom of the page. Do you see another code at that time?
They run another license plate, 7271.
And Ms. Latner's finally at 3:40:57, towards the bottom of the page. What is happening at 3:40:57?
They're running another license plate, 9843.
Now, Ms. Latner's, is that 7, or how many is that 7 license plates that you just indicated were reflected in the CAD report?
Yes,
Do you see the 4th row above the CAD narrative at 4:34:43 a.m.?
434 what?
4:34:43.
Yes,
What is occurring at 4:34:43?
they did a report on each one of those license plates. They put in code 17.
What does code 17 mean to pull that in?
They did a report for whoever vehicles these are.
Now, Ms. Latner's flipping to page 1 briefly. What time was this case cleared?
Cleared their 0434 a.m. hours.
Is that the same time as when you indicated they generated a report on page 4?
Yes,
What does the code DC mean?
that just, DC is, distribution, I'm sorry, DC is mean they cleared the call for that 17.
Now, Ms. Latner, do you see a CAD narrative at the bottom on page 4?
Yes,
What is the first input in that CAD narrative?
it shows 78 shots on calls, 67 vehicles shot up at location,
What is it? Does it say no 78?
no 78.
What does that mean?
No, look out on the person who did the shooting.
And then it says 6 to 7 vehicles shot up at location.
Yes,
So with the 7 license plates that were ran on scene, is that aligned or not aligned with 7 vehicles being shot up?
yes,
Ms. Latner, do you also see the second from the bottom in the CAD narrative on page 4, is there any related incident numbers to this?
Yes, it is.
What is the last 4 of the related incident number?
0292.
And Ms. Latner's, the very last at 351:45, when it says M type 25 to 86, is that what you were describing of the count changing for the jury?
Yes.
Ms. Latner's, I want to turn to, is that the end of this CAD report for 1 Juliet Juliet?
Yes.
Ms. Latner's, I want to turn to 1 Juliet Juliet Alpha. Is 1 Juliet Juliet Alpha related to the CAD report we just discussed?
Yes.
Is the last 4 of that CAD the same last 4 reflected in 1 Juliet Juliet that we just discussed?
Yes.
Is it the same? What date is this?
April 28th, 2015.
Now, what zone and beat are these 2 CAD reports?
Zone 1 and the beat 109 speed.
Now, for CAD report 1 Juliet Juliet Alpha, what is the address?
551 Woods Drive, Northwest Atlanta.
And with the 2 CAD reports being the same zone and the same beat, and Your Honor, publishing 1 Juliet Juliet Alpha, are they in the same part of the city, Your Honor? Or, I mean, sorry, Ms. Latner's, or nearby?
Yes.
Shout out to Dave
Was
911.
this call, unlike the first call, a 911 or officer-generated call?
It came through with 911.
The name
What
makes sense,
time
Dave.
was
I
the
get it
911
now.
call?
0220 a.m. hours.
What time was the call received with dispatch?
Dispatch received the call at 0221 hours.
Now, Ms. Latner's just briefly glancing back at 1 Juliet Juliet. Is this 911 call after or before the officer-generated CAD report we just discussed?
A couple seconds after for the officer generating it.
When did officers arrive to this 911 call?
First officer arrived at 0226 hours.
What priority call was this 911 call?
A prior to 2 call.
Is that a 10-minute response?
Yes.
What time was this call cleared?
It was cleared at 0232 a.m. hours.
Was it cleared roughly 10 minutes after the call or officers arrived?
Yes.
Now, turning to the CAD narrative on page 2, do you see that, Ms. Latner's? The 4th row from the top at 2:21:28 a.m. Can you tell the jury what that indicates?
The call advised the operator they heard about 30 shots in the area.
Now, Ms. Latner's, the very last input at 2:23:36, does it have a related CAD report?
Yes, it does.
And is that related CAD report 1 Juliet Juliet?
Yes.
Now, Ms. Latner's, I'm going to publish is 1 Juliet Juliet Bravo, the 911 call that corresponds with this CAD report? The disc you have before you?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, the state's going to publish 1 Juliet Juliet Bravo for the jury.
I'm sorry, Dave. I wasn't trying to block the document. But yeah, I don't think she wants to be here. She kind of, I mean, she testified honestly with what she had to do the first time she was called, but it was just like, her demeanor was like, let's get this over with and just keep it going.
When emergency operator 1287 was the address of the emergency.
551 Woods Drive, Northwest Atlanta, Georgia. But don't come to the
Oh, okay, let me verify. 551 Woods Drive, Northwest, right?
Yeah, but
Okay, but do not come. But what's going on? You need the police, fire, ambulance.
gunshots,
How many?
a lot, like 30.
Heard 30 gunshots in the area. 551 Woods Drive.
Yes.
Okay, but do not come to Woods Drive. Did you see anybody?
No.
Okay, heard about 30 shots. So okay, and your name?
Don't want to.
You don't, okay, that's fine, that's fine. Can I just verify your phone number in case we have to call you back? Just ask a question.
442856734.
Okay, 442856734. Okay, hold on 1 second. Are you near Club Crucial?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, all right, ma'am. I think we've already had that reported, but thank you for calling, okay?
Okay.
Thank you now. Bye-bye.
Now, Ms. Latner, I'm going to approach you with what's been marked as 1 kilo through 4 kilo alpha. And I'm going to grab these Juliets from you. Or actually, I'm going to leave them up here. Ms. Latner, if you can take a minute to look through those kilo exhibits and just look up at me when you're ready.
Thank you,
Ms.
HVAC,
Latner,
gifting a
what
membership.
are 1 kilo through 4 kilo alpha that I just gave you and you just reviewed?
CAD reports from April 28th, 2015.
And how do you recognize them?
Yes,
Is one of those a disc?
yes,
Is there any significant markings on that disc?
my initials.
Were you able to listen what's on that disc before testifying here today?
Yes,
And Ms. Latner's are 1 kilo through 4 kilo alpha, a fair and accurate depiction of the CAD reports and 911 call for this incident.
yes,
Your Honor, at this time, the state moves to introduce into evidence 1 kilo, 2 kilo, 3 kilo, 4 kilo, and also, Your Honor, the 1 through 4 kilo alpha.
All right, those are admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Ms. Latner's and publishing 1 kilo for the jury. Ms. Latner's, what is the date of this incident report?
April 28th, 2015.
The same date as we just discussed?
Yes,
What is the location of this call?
1291 MLK Drive, Northwest Atlanta.
What type of call was this?
Shots fired.
What is the zone and beat?
Zone 1, 105 speed.
And Ms. Latner's, for the record, what is the incident report for 1 kilo?
151180455.
Ms. Latner's, was this a officer generated or 911 call?
911 call.
What time was this 911 call generated?
0403 AM hours.
Now, Ms. Latner's, if you glance at 1 Juliet, is this 911 call after or before those?
After.
You said it was made at 040325.
Yes.
When was the call received at dispatch?
0404 AM hours.
When were officers dispatched to that location?
0405 AM hours.
And when were officers cleared from this scene?
0412 56 AM hours.
Now, Ms. Latner's, do you see at the bottom with the CAD narrative? Can you describe what at 4:04:34 a.m. for the jury, what that indicates?
Caller advised he heard he heard shots fired in the area.
Does that indicate that the caller heard 8 shots fired in the area?
Yes,
Now, Ms. Latner's at the top, do you see the disposition for this CAD report?
it shows code 12 and also say CCAD 0462.
And does code 12 signify that there's some type of investigation?
Yes,
Ms. Latner's, do you have before you 1 kilo alpha? Or already admitted, Your Honor, the state's going to publish 1 kilo alpha.
Unless 911 operator 6173, what's the address to your emergency?
Well, 1291 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, but somebody's firing off AKs in the neighborhood.
About how many did you hear?
Just heard about 17 shots.
Did you want to see what the officer when they come out?
Nah, I'm asleep, but I mean, dang, it's every night.
Okay.
And if they can check the address at 1271, it's an empty house next door to me. They going in and out that house at night. They start going in that house about 8:30 dark at night, and they go in and out the house all night. Cars parked down on Rock Mart. So I don't know. It's not this. Like I said, it can't be but a few houses away that shoot, that are random shooting, and it goes on every night in the neighborhood. But just it's kind of close that time. Thank you very much.
Okay, we're going to get someone out.
Yeah, maybe you can get a little patrols through here in the evening, Sam. They bust caps, shoot caps every night hit around through here between 2 and 4.
Okay. All right, I'll send someone out.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome, Mama.
Publishing what's been admitted, Your Honor, as 2 kilo. And Ms. Latner's, with all of these kilo exhibits that we're discussing, was there, how many total CAD reports do you have before you?
4.
And were all 4 of those related to the same incident?
Yes,
Ms. Latner's, in 2 kilo, what is the incident report for this CAD report?
151180456.
Was 1 kilo, did that end in 455?
Yes,
Is this 456?
yes,
And Ms. Latner's, when CAD reports come through APD, do they get incident numbers in sequential order?
yes,
So this is the next incident report after 1 kilo.
yes.
What is the location for this incident number?
1469 Mill Street Southwest.
What is the zone and beat for this CAD?
Zone 1, 104's beat.
Is that the same zone and beat as 1 kilo?
No, the first one was 105's beat,
Is 104 near 105's beat?
right next door.
What was the source of this CAD report? Was it a 911 call or officer generated?
911 call,
What time was this call received?
0403 a.m. hours.
Was that after or before 1 kilo?
After.
What type of priority was this call?
Prior to 2,
Is that a 10-minute response time?
10 minutes.
What time was this call cleared?
0412 hours, a.m. 0412 a.m. hours.
Ms. Latner's, comparing 2 kilo with 1 kilo, how close in time is the clearance between the 2 calls?
About 5 seconds off.
what was the disposition of 2 kilo?
Code 12, investigated CCAD 0462.
Is that the same CCAD 0462 referenced in 1 kilo?
Yes.
Publishing, Your Honor, 3 kilo? Ms. Latner's, what is the incident number for 3 kilo?
151180460.
What is this the same date as what we just discussed?
Yes.
What zone and beat is 3 kilo?
Zone 1, 104's beat.
Was this self-initiated by an officer or a 911 call?
It's 911 call.
Now, Ms. Latner's, what time was this call received?
0406 a.m. hours.
How close in time is the 04, 06, 07 hours to 1 and 2 kilo we just discussed?
Couple of minutes off.
Ms. Latner's, what time was this call cleared?
0408 a.m. hours.
And turning to the CAD narrative at 4:06:07 a.m., can you explain for the jury what that indicates?
Received a call advised several shots heard in the area.
And Ms. Latner's, turning to the top, what is the disposition for 3 kilo?
The 911 canceled the call. Dispatch canceled the calls because all of it was related to the first 2 calls. And she marked as CCAD 0462 0456, since all in the same area as 104's beat.
Is that why, Ms. Latner's, the call was canceled 2 minutes after this 911 call was generated?
Correct.
Your Honor, publishing what's been marked as 4 kilo. Ms. Latner's, looking at 4 kilo, what is the incident number for 4 kilo?
151180462.
Is this the 0462 that was referenced in the previous 3 kilo exhibits?
Yes.
What's the location for this CAD report?
1428 Adele Avenue Southwest.
What zone and beat is 1428 Adele Avenue Southwest?
Zones 1, 104's beat.
Is that the same beaten zone or the neighboring beaten zone for the previous 3 CAD reports?
Yes.
And what was the source of this CAD report? Was it 911 call or officer generated?
911 call.
What time was the 911 call made?
0405 a.m. hours.
What time was the 911 call received by APD dispatch?
0406 a.m. hours.
What time were officers dispatched out to that call?
0407 a.m. hours.
What time was this call cleared?
0704 a.m. hours.
Now, Ms. Latner's, you see on page 1, it has unit information.
Yes.
Who was the primary unit on this call?
1104.
And is there any officers listed for this case?
Yes.
Their name.
Adrian Pitts.
Is there multiple unit numbers beneath 1104?
Yes.
Is that multiple officers responding to this call?
Yes.
What type of call is this? What's the code?
Code is 50, person shot.
Would a person shot code 50, what kind of response would that get?
Priority 2.
And how quick a response time is priority 2 within APD CAD?
Should be quick as possible. We have 10 minutes to dispatch it out.
Now, Ms. Latner's, do you see on page 2 the CAD narrative at the bottom,
Yes.
can you describe for the jury what is indicated at 4:06:28, the third from the top?
It advised female shot, female grazed by a bullet.
What is after female grazed by bullet?
Caller states someone shot up house.
And Miss Latner's two beneath that at 4:07:40, is it reference a related incident number we've already discussed?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, the state is going to publish 4 kilo alpha for the jury.
Put that weed out. I'm going
And that's 911, operator 6587. What is the address of your emergency?
Someone just turned a shot on my house and my auntie got shot.
Okay. Okay, what's the address?
1428
1428
Adair Avenue.
Adair.
30314.
Is this in a house or an apartment?
You said what, ma'am?
Is this a house or an apartment?
Our house?
Okay, that's Adair Avenue Northeast. Southeast?
I thought it's southeast.
Okay.
1428 Adair Avenue, Atlanta, Georgia, 30314.
Okay, it's not coming up southeast. Hold on one moment.
ADELE.
Oh, Adele.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, hold for grading.
Mama told me I seen her. Hello?
This is Rico EMS. What is the address of your emergency?
1428.
Okay, repeat that one more time. Okay, repeat that. Make sure we have it correct. Hello?
Hello? You said where now?
Can you repeat the address to make sure we have it correct?
1428 Avenue.
All right, department or private house?
A house.
What's the phone number you're calling from in case we're disconnected?
404-203-4683.
All right, and what's your name?
Damekion.
Okay, Doc, tell me what happened.
Oh, I was just, and I was on some gunshot people. Somebody just told me they were shooting up the house.
Okay, was anyone shot?
Big time.
Okay. Are you with the patient right now?
Oh, she lying in bed.
Okay. Are you with her right now?
You said what, ma'am?
Are you with her right now, Simon?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how old is she?
She is. She didn't get, the bullet didn't go through. She got straight. But she is, how you got this away?
Is she awake?
Yes, she is white. You said, yes, she breathing.
Okay, when did this happen? When did this happen? When did this happen? Did she breathe?
Like 5 minutes ago. said what?
The person that was shooting, are they still in the area?
Yes, ma'am, that's the other house.
Okay, is there any serious bleeding?
No, ma'am.
Bleeding at all?
Yes, she's breathing. The bull's pressure.
All right. Is she completely alert?
You said what, ma'am?
Is she completely alert?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, what part of her body was injured?
The butt.
Okay, she was shot in the butt.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there more than one wound?
No, ma'am.
All right, send the paramedics to help stand a line. We'll tell you what's the next Atlanta Fire Police on 792.
Okay.
Steering round.
Okay.
Okay, great. What did you say, Atlanta?
You said what?
We need to know if the person that shot her is still on scene.
Yes, ma'am. She's standing.
No, the people that were shooting, are they still around?
Oh, yes, I guess it was driving.
Okay, so they're nowhere in sight at this time.
Oh, no, ma'am.
You know where they are or where they went?
No, ma'am. We was out. We just woke up. Okay.
Okay. Then the paramedics to help stand a line. We'll tell you what's the next. Grab a cushion, dry cloth, or a towel.
Okay.
Okay, and I want you to place your right on the wall, press down firmly, and don't close it up below. Okay? Let her know the help is coming. Don't give her any food or drink that might make her sick or cause problems for the doctor. Let her rest as comfortably as possible, but watch her closely. If she becomes less awake and vomits, please turn her on her side. Okay? So when she becomes intense, gather any medications that she's taking. Please unlock your door. Sit on the outside light and have someone meet the paramedics. Okay. We'll look back for further instructions. We're on the way.
Okay, the police is already outside. So that's
All right.
okay.
Okay, thank you.
That definitely sucks to get shot and then get shot in the butt and then have people ask you, where were you shot?
That was the 911 call that corresponded with 0462.
Yes.
Ms. Latners, I'm going to approach you with what's marked as 1 Lima Lima, 1 Lima Lima Alpha, and 1 Lima Lima. Excuse me, and 2 Lima Lima.
Casey Dog says, this is how trial is, facts, respectful. I mean, you guys get the difference of the presentation
Ms. Latners,
today
just
with
take a minute and
Atkins,
look
right?
over those exhibits and just look up at me when you're ready. Ms. Latners, what are 1 Lima Lima, 2 Lima Lima, and 1 Lima Lima Alpha?
Copy of the CAD report for that incident.
Is there also a 911 call associated with those?
Yes.
And are they a fair and accurate depiction of the 911 call and CAD reports for this incident?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, the state moves to tender into evidence 1 Lima Lima, 1 Lima Lima Alpha, and 2 Lima Lima.
You may.
I'm going to come grab these, Ms. Latners, and be right back.
Shout out to Renee. We're going to call it green slime shots because YouTube didn't like when I said the A and then the other word imitating the first 911 caller. So we're going to call it green slime. Gifting another membership. Thank you so much, Renee. And then PJ sends $4.99 to say, thank you, HVAC, for my gifted membership. Well, thank you for the super chat and thank you for showing the appreciation. But Luis dropped another one. Yeah, we're going to call them slime shots today. Green slime shots. You guys got to keep a tally like the dispatch, the guy that called 911 was. Yeah, it is true that Atkins does all the boring witnesses. And I mean, I think the names we had 2 crime scene techs listed. I think these witnesses are kind of going to be in the same vein. They're all going to be investigatory in some fashion about, I guess we're doing this drive-by incident from April 28th, 2015, which was a Antonio Sledge and Damekion Garlington incident. But it's in this indictment because Rico.
So was there objection, or did y'all just need to see them? Okay, all right. Okay, they're preserved. All right, so those are admitted.
Your Honor, publishing, thank you, Your Honor. Publishing 1 Lima Lima. Ms. Latner's, what is the incident report for 1 Lima Lima?
151180587,
What is the date?
April 28th, 2015.
And Ms. Latner's, what type of call is 1 Lima Lima?
Shots fired.
What was the location of the shots fired?
1903 Drew Drive, Northwest.
What is the zone and beat for this call?
Zone 1, 110 speed.
Now, Ms. Latner's, was this a 911 call or officer generated?
911 call.
What time was this 911 call made?
05:50 a.m. hours.
And Ms. Latner's, is this after or before the 2517 Donnelly Hollowell 1JJ we discussed?
After.
Is this after or before the 1428 Adele Drive we just discussed with Kilo Kilo exhibits?
After.
Ms. Latner's, when were officers dispatched to this scene?
At 05:53 a.m. hours.
When did they arrive?
06:01 a.m. hours.
And what time was this call cleared?
06:44 a.m. hours.
Now, Ms. Latner's, do you see unit information in the middle of page 1?
I do.
What is the primary unit for this call?
1110s.
And what officer is associated with 1110?
Sean Hill.
Now, Ms. Latner's, turning to the CAD narrative, the third from the top at 5:52:18 a.m. Can you explain for the jury what that indicates?
It indicates that the operator put in information about heard 9 gunshots fired near parking deck from the caller.
And when it says no 78, is that no suspect?
No suspect.
Ms. Latner's, turning back to the top, do you see the disposition for this CAD report?
Code 12 investigated.
And Ms. Latner's, do you have before you a 911 call associated with this?
Yes.
Your Honor, is that 1 Lima Lima Alpha?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, the state is publishing 1 Lima Lima Alpha for the jury.
Atlanta 911, operator 6544, what's the address of your emergency?
I said 1903 Drew Drive.
1903 Drew Drive?
Yes.
Do you need police, fire, ambulance at that location?
I think it'll be the police.
Okay, what's going on there?
I just woke up and I just heard about 9 gunshots.
Okay, can you tell me which direction you think it's coming from?
It came from the parking deck.
Okay. And this is an apartment?
Yes.
What's the name of the apartment?
Columbia Crest.
Is there a gate code?
Yes.
Can you share that with me, please?
0162.
0162. What's your name?
Stephanie.
Stephanie, what's your contact phone number?
678-769-9305.
678-769-9305.
Yes.
And you said you heard about 9 gunshots fired near the parking deck. By chance, do you see anyone?
I don't even want to get close to the one.
Okay. And what's your apartment number?
What is, 2309?
Do you want to speak with an officer when he comes out?
Oh, I don't have to. I just know I heard a lot of gunshots just now.
Okay, we're gonna get an officer over there to check it out. Thank you, Stephanie.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Bye-bye.
Publishing 2 Lima Lima, Your Honor, and Ms. Latner's, we're going to talk about 2 Lima Lima. Is this April or 28, 2015?
Yes,
And Ms. Latner's, what is the incident report number for 2 Lima Lima?
151180588.
How did this call type come in?
A 911 call.
And what was the caller's first name?
Natasha,
And Ms. Latner's, what was the address of this 911 call?
1903 Drew Drive, Northwest,
And is there an apartment associated with that call?
apartment 1122.
And what is the zone and beat for this 911 call?
Zone 1, 110. Beat.
Did it just freeze on you guys? That was weird.
And is this after or before the 1 Lima Lima that we just discussed?
After.
How close in time is this 911 call to the first? If you look at 1 and 2 Lima Lima.
About a minute apart.
Now, Ms. Latner's, what time did officers get dispatched to this location?
0555 a.m. hours.
What time did they arrive?
0603 a.m. hours.
And what time was this call cleared?
1116 a.m. hours.
Now, Ms. Latner's, do you see in the middle under unit information? Is that the same unit number 1110 and Officer Sean Hill that we just discussed with 1 Lima Lima?
Yes,
So did that officer respond in relation to both of these calls?
yes.
And Ms. Latner's, do you see on page 2 at 6:44:05 a.m. where it says M type 54 to 86?
Yes.
What does that indicate for the jury?
Call came in as a suspicious person. That's a signal for Atlanta 54. An officer asked the dispatcher to change to 86 to vandalism.
One brief moment, Your Honor. Thank you very much, Ms. Latner's. No further questions by the state, Your Honor.
All right, do any defense counsel have questions for Ms. Latner's?
I wonder how the defense is going to make it clear, because he didn't really talk about how it was Antonio Sledge and Damekion Garlington. So the jury's just hearing someone got shot in the butt
Thank you for your
in open context.
Call your next witness.
Okay, so they're not even questioning. Oh, poor. I'm glad she gets to go early, but
All right.
she got called again all for that. like, come on. And I do want to give a big thank you. S. Satchel, thanks for letting me know. StreamYard did not tell me it was missing it, but before the stream started, we had 10 gifted memberships from S. Satchel, so I cannot pull it up on the screen, but everybody show some love. Also, I see A. Willie gifted 5, and then S. Satchel said, Chad is asking who's up first on the witness stand, which now I see. And then M and I Gang Holmes became a member. So all of those things were things that StreamYard didn't pull in where they pull starred chats for me. So sorry I missed those. And yes, that was, let me get a new banner. Got a new witness. But what a weird thing for the jury to just hear that in isolation. Like, I'm sure we'll hear more from like crime scene techs that are being called today, but. And thanks to the chat, it looks like Yak and Ryan are the only ones that swap seats. So they did not make Jeffrey Williams sit as the leader up at the front. Which I think were great arguments that they made yesterday about the seat changes. Was that Adam Abadi? Abadi?
Raise your right hand. You swear the first testimony you give today the truth, all the truth, nothing but the truth. That's it. Spell your first and last name for the louder to the mic.
My name is Denise Bell. Spell my name D-E-N-I-S-E, B-E-L-L. B-E-L-L, yes.
Good morning, Ms. Bell.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm a little nervous.
Love.
Is there anything we can do to make you a little less nervous?
Not really.
All right.
Have Atkins
Ms.
ask
Bell,
instead.
Appreciate your honesty. Would you do me a favor and set your purse down by your side?
Yes, I can.
And I'm standing over here. Would you direct your communication to the jury over here? They need to hear what you're saying, and you need to talk loudly and into the microphone if you can.
Okay.
Thank you. Ms. Bell, would you tell the jury where you're from originally?
I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
All right. Do you have family that lives in Atlanta, Georgia?
Yes,
Have you lived in Atlanta all your life?
yes,
All right. Do you have sisters and brothers?
yes.
How many?
I'll say 5.
All right.
Other than me.
And one of them, does one of them live at 1428 Adele Avenue?
Yes,
Have you ever lived at 1428 Adele Avenue?
yes,
And is that in Fulton County?
yes.
How long did you or has your family, you and your sister, you or your sister lived at 1428 Adele Avenue?
I think she may have been there 25 years and I was like maybe 13 years.
She's been there 25 and you 13?
Yes,
How'd you come to live at 1428 Adele Avenue?
that's a good question.
Thank you.
Some kind of way I had to move from where I was
Mhm.
living at, and I asked her, can I come
All
live
right.
with her?
Okay.
And she said yes.
Is this sister of yours older or younger than you?
She's younger than me.
Would you describe for the jury what kind of structure, 1428 Adele Avenue, what kind of house does your sister have?
It's a nice family home.
Right.
Nice family home.
Is it a condo, townhome, or a standalone?
It's a home.
Standalone house,
Right.
single family?
Yes,
All right. Is it brick, siding, something else?
brick.
All right. How many levels does your sister's house have?
I'm gonna say 3.
And when you walk into the door, just from outside, which level do you enter?
You enter on the 2nd level.
Okay. And do you or your sister sleep on,
Different levels, yes.
okay. Would you describe for the jury or tell the jury, I'm sorry, who all on April 28, 2015 lived at that house?
It had to be my sister,
Mhm.
one her daughter,
Okay.
and me.
And you. Would you tell the jury a little about yourself? Do you have children?
Yes,
How old are they?
my oldest will be 48 in next week, and
Okay.
my baby is 47.
Did either of your kids live at 1428 Adele Avenue?
No.
In April?
No.
All right. Your sister, how many kids does your sister have?
She has 4.
All right. Would you tell the jury first the name and then the age of the 4 children that your sister had?
Your Honor, I'm going to object as to relevance.
Your Honor, this is the address that the jury
That the
just
age
heard
of
about.
the- Age of the children?
I can approach as to why I'm doing it that way, but I have a reason and it is relevant.
All right, I'll give you some leeway.
Thank you. Would you tell the jury the name and age of your sister's 4 children?
I think the twins, which is Diamond and Daryl, may be 27 now,
And that would have made them, what, 18 in
I
2015?
suppose.
Okay. And What's your sister's oldest child's name?
Stacy Adams, and she's 40.
She's 40. So she would she have been 31 in April of 2015?
I'm thinking yes.
Does your sister have a son, Philip Collins?
Yes.
Does Philip Collins go by the name Philo?
Yes.
And would Philip Collins have been around 25 in April 2015?
I would say so.
Right. Did your other siblings have children? Did your other sisters and brothers, did you
Yes.
have other nieces and nephews?
Yes, I do.
All right. Did any of those other nieces and nephews at any time during April 2015 live at the house with you and your sister?
No.
Did your sister's children, the four you just named, Philo, Darren, Diamond, and Stacy, did either of them live at the house besides Diamond in April 2015?
No.
Did they visit the house regularly?
Well, you know, they come by because they want to eat, and I cook a lot for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And it's delicious.
Would you describe for the jury the area of Atlanta let me be more specific. Do you know where the Atlanta University Center is?
Yes.
All right. Is 1428 Adele Avenue down the street from Morris Brown College?
I wouldn't exactly say down the street, but it's not far from the home.
And is it also close to Spelman, Morehouse, Clark?
Yes.
All right. And also, please describe in the best way that you can the neighborhood that 1428 Adele Avenue is.
It's a wonderful neighborhood to raise your kids in. You know, it's a wonderful neighborhood. It was not, we felt no danger or anything. It's a nice neighborhood.
Is it mostly houses like the one you and your sister lived
You
in?
can object as to relevance, Your Honor.
Overruled.
Does the house itself sit off of of Adele Avenue, or is it in a subdivision?
Well, it's just a street with houses, you know.
Were the houses on the street?
How often did your sister's children, either Philo, Darren, or Stacy, visit?
Objection as to relevance.
There's, Your Honor, I am asking.
Sustained.
Okay.
Asked and answered.
Out of all your nieces and nephews, did you have any other nephew who was 18 in April of 2015?
No.
Okay. And did any of your other nieces and nephews visit your home at 1428 Adele Avenue as often as Cecilia's children did?
No.
Would Cecilia's children visit at least once a week?
Yeah.
Overruled. But
I was trying to be.
seeing the relevance of this right now, so you said you'd get to it.
We are. Okay, thank you, Judge. Ms. Bell, do you remember April 27th and 28th of 2015?
Yes.
Why do you remember that date range?
That was the day that I was shot.
Could you lean into your mic and speak a little louder for this jury?
That was the day that I was shot.
All right. On that particular day, do you remember what day of the week it was?
I want to say a Monday.
Okay.
It was started Monday but it probably ended up Tuesday morning.
All right. And did the day involve anything of note before you got shot? Did anything happen?
No, everything was fine.
All right. Do you remember who all was at the house that Monday?
I want to say, I guess, just me, Cecilia, and her daughter.
All right. Did you all have any kind of concerns for your safety that day?
Not at all.
All right. Do you remember about what time you turned in for the evening?
Well, I usually go to bed kind of late.
What's late for you?
I want to say 12:30, something like that.
And was that particular night any different than any other? Did you go to bed about 12:30?
Yes.
All right. Were any of your nieces or nephews visiting at that time that you went to bed?
No.
Would you describe for the jury where inside the house your bedroom was?
I'm going to say, like from this desk to that door.
The door at the back of the courtroom?
Yeah, that door.
And so would the door represent the front door of the house?
No,
What does the door represent as far as the house goes?
this would represent the front door, but this would be the front door.
Okay. And so with where you are being the front door, the back door is your room?
I want to say, no, not the back door.
No, I mean
The
the
door-
back door of the courtroom.
Yes,
Was there a straight shot from your room to the front door?
yes.
Did anybody else stay or sleep on that same level with you?
I think, her daughter,
All right. And where did your sister sleep?
she slept upstairs.
Okay. Now, at the time you went to bed, describe from the time you went to bed to the time you remember something happening.
Well, we really didn't do anything, but you know, sometimes we sit up and talk, you know, stuff like that, but we really didn't do anything. I might have had a drink or two before we went to bed, but other than that, other than that,
What was your drink of choice?
vodka.
All right. Did you
Okay,
have
Miss
it in the
Denise.
kitchen or did you have it in your room?
I had it in my room.
All right. Was it next to your bed
Yes,
on the floor?
yes.
All right. So tell the jury, once you went to bed, if you got up at any point before 6 a.m. What do you remember happening from the time you went to bed?
Oh, well, the time I went to bed, anything really happened.
Okay.
You know, until the doorbell rang.
All right. When the doorbell rang, what'd you do?
I answered the door.
Do you remember about how many people were at the door?
No, I don't.
Was it family or strangers that were at the door?
Well, I would say family, because I wouldn't open the door at 3 o'clock in the morning for a stranger.
Fair enough. Was your sister's 18-year-old son one of the people that was at the door?
It had to be a sibling, yes. Yes, it was.
Okay. And were the other people with your nephew older, younger, or around the same
couldn't
age?
say. I don't know them. Didn't know them.
You-
I didn't even see them.
Okay.
Your Honor, excuse me, I'm sorry. Could I have the witness pull the microphone a little bit closer, please?
Yeah, I don't know if the
Your Honor, actually,
problem is that.
Love's gonna give her one of her handy dandy microphones.
Maybe I need to move a little closer.
I think that this one has.
Shout out to Mark in Texas. Love is cursed with an engineer's mind, having to ask every detail, every question,
Can he
and being
repeat-
mathematical
can she
rather
repeat
than
that last answer once we got the
emotional
mic fixed?
intelligence, EQ.
Try the one on the, well, that one's plugged in. Anybody have a mic they can donate?
The
from
shouty phone.
I'll give her mine. I can talk loud. I'll give her mine. If that's okay.
Okay.
That's fine.
Miss Bell, I'm gonna give you my microphone, and if you could just lean into my microphone, and I'll move these back just so we don't have feedback.
All right, why don't you push that mic down towards her mouth?
I'm a light speaker.
Oh
I
my
used to didn't be,
gosh.
but I am now.
All right, and ask that last question so they can hear the answer.
Thank you, Judge. Miss Bell, when you heard the doorbell ring at 3:30 in the morning, and you said your 18-year-old nephew came in, did you see the people who were with your nephew? Not recognize them, just did you see anybody else with them?
It may have been, but I didn't pay any attention because once I opened the door and it was somebody that I recognized, I just walked away. I walked away from the door. I didn't really pay any attention. I just walked. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm asleep. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't really pay any attention.
Did the demeanor of your 18-year-old nephew or any of the people who were coming in cause you any concern?
No,
Did they, were they being loud or rowdy or anything like that?
no,
Did they in any way appear angry?
no.
Do you know, or did you recognize what they did once you let them in the house?
No,
Now, do you like guns?
no,
Do you make it known to your nephews and nieces You don't like guns?
Yes,
Do they respect you enough to respect the fact that you don't like guns?
yes.
Alright, so on this day, if it's 3:30 in the morning, was the previous morning was the previous day the Monday, or are we not in a Monday?
The previous day was Monday.
So if it's this 3:30 Tuesday morning,
Yes,
did you see any guns in the hands of anybody that you let in the house at 3:30?
No.
Do you remember what anybody was wearing?
no,
Was there any room on the level that they came into that you saw them go in the direction of?
I didn't pay any attention.
Tell the jury, what you did once you let them in the house.
I went back to my bedroom.
How far was your bedroom from where you parted ways with them?
Oh, I guess a few feet.
Did you hear anything from them, like anything?
Nothing.
Were you close enough to have heard if they've been arguing or anything?
No,
Were you close enough if they had been arguing to have heard it?
I would have heard it.
All right. Tell the jury once you got back to your room what you did.
I stepped in my room, and by my alcohol being next to my bed, I figured I'd take a drink, but I didn't get a chance to do that
Why?
because gunfire rang out. And by then, I was hit.
Yeah, your voice dropped.
I was hit.
What did you say right before you were hit?
I picked up the ball, and then I put it back down because I was hit.
Did you hear anything before you were hit?
I just probably heard a gunfire, but nothing else.
When you say you were hit, what do you mean?
I was hit by a bullet. I was shot. I just said I was hit instead of shot.
Did you immediately know you had been shot?
Yes.
What happened? How did you feel it? Tell the jury what that was.
Well, actually, I didn't really feel any pain at that time. I was very scared, and I looked into my hallway, which is right my bedroom, the hallway right at my bedroom. So when I turned my back and looked around, the police was already there.
Do you have any idea how long it took you to gather yourself and look around and see the police?
I really didn't have any time.
Did you see when you realized you'd been shot, were you able to see if there were any holes in the house for a bullet to have come through? Like, did you see where it came through?
It came through my wall.
Through your what?
My wall.
Do you remember how many shots you heard?
No, I don't.
Did you hear more than one?
Yes.
Do you remember what they sounded like?
It was very loud.
Do you remember whether they were fast?
Fast.
You being way more dignified than me, probably. Was it or something different?
I really don't remember.
Oh, what?
What do you recall doing after you looked around and saw the police officer in the house?
I just stood there by the bed.
By the bed?
I stood by the bed. I never sat down or anything. I just stood there.
Was the police officer inside your bedroom who you looked?
No, he wasn't in my bedroom. He was in the hallway.
Do you recall saying anything?
No, I didn't say anything to him.
Do you remember who all was in the house at that moment where you noticed the police was in the house?
No.
Did you have any idea where your nephew and your nephew's friends were?
No.
What about your sister?
She actually didn't even really see anything or hear anything.
Without talking about what you may have seen or heard, I mean, where she was.
Oh, she was upstairs in her bedroom asleep.
Did she come down at any point and join you in yours? In your
No,
bedroom?
no.
Did you see her interacting with the police?
I don't recall. I didn't see that.
Tell the jury the next things you remember happening.
I remember the ambulance came and they put me on the gurney.
Okay.
And they prepped me as they taking me out the house. Once I was in the ambulance, I really did not know how serious the injuries were. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't really feel any pain until I was operated on. The pain was so excruciating that I wouldn't wish it on nobody.
Were you in the hospital one more time?
I might have been in the hospital maybe a month and a half.
Ms. Bell, would you tell the jury if your neighborhood that you lived in on 1428 Adele Avenue was a neighborhood where younger, where you noticed your neighbors were?
No younger people. No younger people. Most of the
All right. Put a 2 in the chat if you think Love just whipped that sound effect out. Put a 1 if you think she practiced that sound effect knowing she was going to ask that question. Because I think she practiced it. Like, why would you do that?
residents there were older people. They had already been there for many years.
40 or older, 30 or older?
They was older than that.
Did you notice whether any of them had kids that came often that you saw?
No.
Ms. Bell, I'm going to show you what has been marked as State's Exhibit 5KK, and forgive me for not knowing the military. Kilo, 5 kilo, through 9 kilo, and a copy Mr. Brown is providing to the defense for them to look at while you're taking a look at 5 kilo through 9 kilo. And just tell me if you recognize the area depicted in these photographs. Looking starting at 5 kilo right here. Do you see 1428 Adele Avenue?
Yes.
Is that a fair and accurate representation in 5 kilo of what you and your sister's home look like
Yes.
in 2015?
Yes.
What about 6 kilo? Where you will see the house in that?
Yes.
Is that too a fair and accurate representation of what the house looked like?
Yes.
In 2015. Looking at 7, 8, and 9 kilo. Do you see 1428 Adele Avenue in each of these photographs?
Not in this one.
Okay. And this one is 8 kilo?
Yes.
All right. What about 7 kilo? Do you see y'all's house in that?
Yes.
Does it look like it did in 2015 and 8?
Yes.
What about in 9 kilo?
Yes.
Now, do you see Adele Avenue in 8 kilo?
No.
So, would 5, 6, 7, and 9 kilo aid you in more clearly telling and testifying to the jury about where things were, like your room and the holes or whatever you saw in the house were located on April 28th?
Ask me that again and understand you.
All right. Do you see anything different about the house at 1428 Adele Avenue in these pictures than the way the house looked in April 2015?
No.
Your Honor, state tenders 5 kilo, 6, 7, and 9 kilo as evidence.
All right, admitted without objection.
Ms. Knight, are you able to help us publish? Okay. Starting with the court's permission, may I publish 5
May.
kilo? And Ms. Bell, it's gonna come up on screen in front of you in one time. And you're just gonna,
Okay.
and we just don't use 5.
All right.
Once we blow it up, do you see where that arrow is in 5 kilo? If we could blow it up a little bit more. would you describe for the jury which of these houses is 1428 Adele Avenue after we get gray box out of the spray?
The one with the cars in the driveway.
And would you tell the jury, are you able to describe for the jury where the front door of the house is?
The front door would be right there where those bushes.
Who would put the arrow over the bushes?
That's the front door.
And is that the door or the different door that you answered at 3:30?
That's the door.
And does that door face Adele Avenue?
Yes.
In relation to that door, would you describe which side of the house your room was on?
Straight.
Straight
through.
back?
Yes.
Were you ever able to see how many bullet holes ended up being in y'all's house that day?
I wouldn't say I seen it that day.
I mean, later on, were you able to see how many bullet holes?
Yes.
Approximately how many did you see?
I never counted them.
Was it more than 3?
Yes.
Do you know if it got up to as many as 10?
I'm not sure.
Do you know if that house had any bullet holes in it before?
No, ma'am.
that day?
Can I have a tissue?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Ms. Bell, had you heard or had you ever experienced gunfire in the, was it 10 years
Yes.
that you lived there before that day?
No.
Do you know, or did you call 911?
No.
Do you have any memory of who, if anyone, called 911 in your house?
No.
Do you remember talking to anybody before the ambulance came? Do you remember having any
No.
conversation? The 911 call. And does your nephew, who at the time was 25, at the time in April 2015, did he have a child himself?
Yes.
Did you know the mother of your 25-year-old nephew's child? And by no, I don't mean like had a relationship with her, I mean, did you know who she was?
I may have seen her.
Did she live, did you know where she lived?
No.
In April? Had you ever visited her
No.
house? Do you know if she lived in an apartment house like y'all's or something different?
I'm not sure.
Are you at all familiar with Drew Drive?
Yes.
How are you familiar with Drew Drive?
Well, everybody knows the old Perry home.
It's the old Perry home. And had you ever driven or gone to that area generally?
No.
All right. Do you have any idea how far it was from where you lived on Adele?
No.
Do you know whether your nephew's child's mother lived?
Objection, Your Honor, as to answers. Short decision, no.
Overruled as to that.
Do you know whether your 25-year-old nephew's child's mother lived in that area?
No, I didn't know.
When you say you didn't know, are you talking about in
At that
2015?
time, no, I didn't.
Do you now know whether she did?
I did after everything happened.
And in April 2015, can you tell the jury today, in April 2015, did your nephew's child mother live on Drew Drive?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you drive at that time?
No.
Did your sister drive?
She drives.
Now, the cars in the driveway of States 5KK, are those, that's not your car? Is
No.
that your car?
No.
All right. Is that your sister's car?
No.
All right. Do you remember what kind of car your sister drove? April 28th, 2020.
Pacifica.
Pacifica?
Yes.
Is that a van, Chrysler Pacifica
Yeah.
or something? Okay. Do you remember what color it was?
It was like a blue.
Blue?
Yes.
Any idea of whether it was dark, light?
It was like blue.
Okay. Do you know at the time that you were shot, do you know if there were any other cars in your driveway that you remember?
No.
When the ambulance came, do you remember where it was parked when you got in?
No.
Did you ever see any shell casings outside the house?
No, I didn't.
Did you ever see any bullets inside the house?
No.
Are you able to tell the jury where in the house you saw bullet holes? Generally speaking, not necessarily exact places.
I'm gonna say a picture window, what you call a picture window. That's old, but it was a picture window in my bedroom wall.
Do I have, is a picture window like over the sink in the kitchen or something?
No, the picture window, the first window, when,
First one.
at the front door.
Thank you. And did you at all ever see who it was that fired those rounds in y'all's house?
No, I didn't.
Just 1 second. I appreciate you. I'm gonna place for you, Ms. Bell, what's already been admitted as State's Exhibit 4KK, 4 Kilo Alpha. And if you could tell me if you recognize the voice of the person speaking first after the option.
Put that weed out. I'm calling.
Atlanta 911, operator 6587, what's the address of your emergency?
Someone just turned a shot on my house and my auntie got shot.
Okay.
And stopping at 14 seconds in. Do you, without saying any names, do you recognize the voice of the person?
I think that's my niece.
The niece that lived with you?
No.
Okay, a different niece?
Yes.
Whose child was that niece?
Oh, wait, let me take that back. I'm not sure. He sounded alike.
What?
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Okay, let me hear it again. She said.
Yes, keep playing.
Okay, what's the address?
1428
1428.
Adele Avenue.
I recognize the voice.
You nod your head, so we can pause. Is that Denise said, live with you or just Denise to build with you? Thank you so much, Ms. Bell. Just 1 minute. I think that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, do any of the defense attorneys have questions for this witness?
On behalf of Ms. Williams, we have no questions.
I don't have any questions.
Anybody? All right, Ms. Bell, thank you for your time, and you are excused.
Honestly, poor lady having to come in and testify really just to identify the voice on that 911 call and say, I got
Right?
shot.
Okay, let's check a restroom.
Like,
convenience
holy
break.
moly. And
I'll have your next witness lined up, okay?
And again, for anyone tuning in late, this is for an incident that Damekion, Garlington, and Antonio Sledge were charged for. It's part of the indictment, so it's technically relevant to these 6 co-defendants. But the 2 people that were charged specifically were Damekion Garlington, who's a severed co-defendant, and Antonio Sledge, who we just saw pled out. So, like, that really sucks for the lady. And I know you guys are talking about her wig, but, you know, if I had to go to court, I'd have to take my hat off. I'd be like, all right, they say your eyebrow line is one of the most distinguishing features of how you can recognize faces. Shout out to her for concealing something where she could be easily recognized. You're on TV. So, and yeah, I agree. She didn't really see anything, no reason to cross her. What are you going to do? Get up there and highlight
I'm
the
not
fact
sure
that
where
somebody
Mr.
got shot?
Atkins went, but I just wanted to make sure that the redactions that we talked about previously on those CAD reports got made.
I will forward the information.
So talk to Mr. Atkins about that, since those were exhibits he used.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else? Ma'am? Did somebody else say something? Okay. All right, let's take our recess, be back in whenever the jury's back.
Sweet.
10 minutes or so.
Okay, and now the feed is quiet. So I almost always have the indictment handy for this reason, because with a long trial and with the state strategy, things are out of whack and messy. But really, when we're talking about April 28th, 2015, these are the names we're talking about. We had Denise Bell, who is, she lived at the home. She was the one that was shot in the buttocks. We also have Cecilia Davis. This charge relating to her was aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And again, all of these are only Damekion, Garlington, and Antonio Sledge. We have Diamond Mills is another name to pay attention to. And Natasha Battle. And then this is where we're also getting Antonio Sledge, because he already had a felony conviction. He got this additional charge of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. And then the final one for the 28th was participation in the criminal street gang activity, which is why it ties into these co-defendants. So, and then they're going to say that a lot of these social media posts, a little bit that we saw with Sledge on the stand, these are brought up in the indictment because they think it goes back to what was happening here. So, gang rivalry. The idea is that this was all happening because of gang rivalry. So that's where we're at. That's why the state is calling these witnesses. I don't believe we are done with seeing Sharon Latner. They seem to call her every time they have a 911 dispatch call. And it seems like she answered a lot of them. So we might see her again. And you know the drill, we'll keep this open. Thank you, by the way. Bob Flicks, do I have a P.O. box? I feel like I should get one. It'd be good for me to have. I have other businesses that I do virtual mail to, but I can't, they just scan the letters for me. But maybe I should just do the P.O. box route and get packages. It's really sweet that you want to send some hats. Love that, because I love my hats. AI Design says, Kat, how can I gift membership? So really sweet of you. You guys know I love the membership feature on here. I think iPhone just doesn't like YouTube features like the gifted memberships. I think the best solution, unless someone knows otherwise, is if you have a computer, try on a computer rather than on an Apple phone. I don't know if you'd even be able to do it on a Mac computer. But that feature, everyone always seems to say they can't do it because they're on an Apple device. So really sweet of you for thinking about it. But I think it's an iPhone obstacle. So maybe try PC. Not sure if you have an Apple PC and if that solves the problem. But thank you so much for being a member for a month. Gwennon, thank you so much for this earlier. Me changing the pin at the top of the chat. And Gwennon also says, love to all with the green heart. Thank you to Ariel Bugs for becoming a member. And look, Ariel was born to be here because the A in her name, YouTube made it green for her. So she's already green. She belongs here. Tamara, oh, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. I saw a lot of people shouting out Tamara. It's been a while though, so thank you again, Tamara. I'm going to show you some love in the chat. Chloe Albert's Revenge, I am loving the OSL, Old Sap Life. Guys, shout out to the gardeners in the chat, the people that have the green thumb. I have a beginner's, like 101 green thumb. I can only grow things like tomatoes and herbs, but I'm learning. I'm learning. So I appreciate the Old Sap Life. Pink Flowers Unite, and always good to see you, Chloe Albert's Revenge. HVAC for Dummies. And by the way, do you do like tutorial videos? Because if someone ever enters the chat like, you know, my so-and-so isn't working today, can I just be like, go check out HVAC for Dummies? I've got to see if you've got a channel. Because, guys, you can save a lot of money on some simple handyman tasks that a YouTube video can walk you through. I've done a lot myself. Help me with figuring out what was wrong with my garbage disposal like 2 weeks ago. Also, I forget what it's called, but there's like a valve behind the thing you use to turn the hot and cold water on for your shower. And where I live, this was built in the 60s and the thing inside was bad. And I was like, why is this leaking? So I got to YouTube and figure out how to do it. And it probably saved me a couple $100 and made me feel really proud for accomplishing something I didn't know I could do. So HVAC for Dummies, if you do YouTube tutorials, that is awesome. Please let us know. Belle Louise gifted a membership, and we got to call it Green Slime Shots. They won't let me say the A and then the letter K word together in YouTube. So today the theme of the gifted memberships is Slime Shots. Shots fired. Thank you so much, Belle Louise. Noble01 says 1 Lima Lima 2 Lima Lima 3 Lima Lima. All I was thinking about was that because you said it like this, Lima Lima, back and forth like 6 times. There was like a viral song back in, I don't know, like maybe the 2010s, maybe a little earlier than that. There was like a llama llama duck song that was viral on the internet when like E-Bombs World and websites like that, addicting games were all the rage. And now I have the llama llama duck song stuck in my head. So shout out to Noble One for the throwback on accident. Chloe Albert's Revenge says Atkins standing looks like a completely different guy than Atkins sitting. Is he a mutant? I think what it is when you're stuck sitting there at the table with love ready to be in your ear, I think his body language is just closed off, like hinting, like don't even try to bother me. But when he's standing, you know, maybe he's got the distance so he can just not have to shield himself from the earful, the inevitable earful next to him. But I did notice that too, totally different stature, body language. I don't know the right way to describe it. Maybe he just, because he's tall, maybe when he sits, he's leaning down to see the computer. But I'm going to say it's to close himself off from love. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. FFS is cordless hole puncher. And I don't know what that means. so I don't know, FFS. Thank you so much for the $1.99. And then Pierre Nesmith says, loves dress for European court. Is it because of the green color? Because I know, like, European courts are thinking, I know they wear, like, the powdered wigs if you're a barrister. I know there's, like, different robes for different judges in different court systems. So I'm missing, do they wear plaid or flannel in some courts in Europe? I totally want to know. Shout out to Pierre. Chloe Albert's Revenge says it's not doxing yet. First pet and mother's maiden name are missing. Yeah, we need the password reset questions. It's really kind of odd that they want to prevent someone's face from being seen, namely Detective Gaither. Detective Gaither didn't want to be seen on the stand. They hid her face. They didn't show her on the camera. But then they just put all these people that just tried to be helpful and call 911. All of their information's put out there. Like, that just makes no sense. Now, Marlena Max says, okay, wig, good morning, slime. Guys, I would do the same thing with that wig. I gotta take my hat off to be respectful in court. I'm covering my eyebrows. You're gonna recognize me the least amount possible. Leah's dad says, unreal how much of a narcissist love is. Guys, I cannot get over the sound effect of how fast the bullets were going. Was it like, I'm not gonna do it. Was it like really fast or was it like not so fast? Like, just a weird question to ask somebody who presumably isn't going to know details about guns. And Satchel says, need an emoji for give some leeway. I think I joked in the chat, I don't know if you saw it, but I think we could just put Whitaker's face. I don't know if you guys want a Whitaker face emoji, but really it could be synonymous with leeway because she's always giving a little leeway. And like the state always has to, if you just give me a little leeway here, like it's always like they know and they expect to give it. So I think I would put Whitaker's face for that emoji. And Steven, thank you so much for supporting the channel so much today. Again, you gifted 10 memberships before the stream even started. Gifted super chatted another 5 so we could get some context on who the first witness was. And then you've just been going bananas in here. Not bananas like get out of the courtroom, but like figure of speech bananas. So 5 more memberships. That put you at 20. That's 20 memberships. Might be even more than that. I'm losing count. So everyone, as always, I'm sure it's a familiar name by now if you've watched this channel more than once. Show Mr. Satchel some love in the chat. You can put a double S. And thank you again so much for being so generous. Chloe Albert's Revenge says, which one of your children... Oh, the love questioning. This is how love asks her questions. Which one of your children enjoys green eggs and ham? Slime, eggs, and ham? And can you tell us where? Also, rhyming would be preferred, ma'am. Thank you. She was being so kind and sweet with her questioning. It made me laugh so hard when Denise Bell said, oh, that's a good question. And Love goes, thank you. That's not what it means when someone says that's a good question. That's a good question means, oh, I've got to think about that. Or, oh, I've never thought about that before. It doesn't mean you are so amazing at asking questions, Miss Love. Just so amazing. I envy you. I want to ask questions just like you. And when Miss Bell said that, Love was like, thank you. Like, what? It's just insane. Insane. Oh, thank you so much, Chloe. Casey Dog says, just let Atkins do the job. Love, too aggressive. I think they're lucky she got done with her questioning, because that witness, I don't think she would have played around with it for too much longer. Shout out to Positive Q, who brings the positivity. Good morning at Cat, Chat, and the mods. Shout out to the whole gang. It was April. What did y'all wear for Easter? What did you cook? Really? I can't wait to see how the judge helps the DA. Yeah, well, luckily, the defense hasn't been objecting, but I'm waiting to see when we get, I'm sure the crime scene techs will get more objections, and I don't know when they plan to call Thorpe, but I'm sure we'll get objections from Thorpe, and that's going to be something to watch. What does Whitaker do? We really had, like, a couple objections, and I think it was sustained pretty sternly, like 1 or 2 objections for the 911 dispatcher, not even Denise Bell. I'm losing my train of thought on that one. But it'll be interesting with the crime scene techs, which they could be showing images that will inflame the jury, the arguments about how it's presented. So definitely good reminder, Positive Q. Let's watch how the judge helps the DA today. And then the Smokey Show says she can't identify who shot her, bet money. And I think that's part of the reason why the defense didn't need to ask anything. The court feed audio is still off, you guys, just so you know. I have my volume turned up. Whitaker's face is interesting. I wonder what's going on. I wonder. And thank you so much for showing some love. Look at all the double S's. Oh, and we're back to the seal. I wonder what that was about. I don't have the answers. I'm sure we'll guess based on, I mean, unless it's a issue of the next witness isn't ready for whatever reason, and they have to delay, we might not explicitly hear that was what they were just sidebarring about, but I wonder if it's one of the crime scene texts and they're having an issue about what they plan to introduce through it. So, good times, good times. We'll have to see. Yeah. Wait, so Jason, do you think the judge looks upset because Officer Pitts is next? Do you mean like maybe because Officer Pitts has some evidentiary issue that they didn't solve? And that's why the judge looks upset? I'm like trying to read the facial expression here. Shout out to Ayanna Davis for becoming a member. Another name that I thought was green already. Always good to see you. Mark in Texas says, in my humble opinion, honorable opinion, Love is the type that believes she has a calling to clean up Atlanta. So many tactics are righteous. Yeah, I get the same impression. And I'm not saying it's not a noble intention, but it becomes like mad scientist once you're locked in. You don't see the chaos that you're creating and that you're not getting the result you think you're getting. So, yeah, I'm with you. I am with you, Mark in Texas. And shout out to Pippi. Hope Pippi's doing well today. And then Apoon and Woo, so generous. Not only did you gift 20 memberships today, which is incredible. So everyone put a double, we're doing the double letters today. If you guys want to show Apoon and Woo some love, double A in the chat. But then also this really kind message. Kat, thank you for being my coworker all week. Heck yeah. We're co-indicted coworkers. Couldn't watch this show without you all. So we love the chat here. Look at that. Apunan was really shouting you guys out in the chat. And I'm seeing this when I toggle over. Ghost, good to see you, says, I'm late. Did they move everyone back? It seems like it. So they moved Yak and Ryan. But they kept really everyone else where they were. So. But for whatever reason, they haven't really been panning over to the front row. I guess no one's been objecting over there. And look at all the love. Yeah, look at all the double A's. Thank you so much, you guys. The A's with the green hearts. And then Ike always with the great commentary. Right away, as soon as that vodka question was asked, Love just created doubt with this lady's recollection. Unbelievable rambling question about drink of choice. Did I miss something? I don't know. I never know why the state seems to shake up the credibility of their own witnesses. Like, I never really understand. Like, some things with people like Sledge, who you have this plea deal and you know what the defense is going to ask. I get trying to get ahead of it, and I don't think she gets ahead of it very well. But what was the point of, like, I don't know, maybe she expected the defense to cross? I don't know. I don't know, Ike. I don't have the answers. Thank you so much for the 5. Oh, man. I forgot already about Love's baby voice yesterday. Casey Dog says, baby voice yesterday, but today I can talk loud. Miss Love. Oh my gosh. Great point. Do you guys prefer to listen to Love with her regular voice or the baby voice? I guess prefer is not the right word. Would you just, yeah, prefer. We'll leave it at prefer. Baby voice or yell voice. The Smoky Show says, sad part is this grandma is nothing more than a pawn in Mrs. Love's circus. This has to become a mockery to justice. I mean, I feel the same. I get that they need to call her to establish, she was the victim. She was the one with, she can say she's the one that was in pain and got shot or hit in her terms. I get why they technically had to call her for this charge related to Garlington and Sledge. But honestly, they didn't need to ask her that many questions to get there. You lived in the house on this night. You were shot. You answered the door. Were you the one that called 911? No. Okay, well, we're going to play the 911 call. Do you recognize, these voices? Oh, it's one of my nieces. I can't exactly tell which. Like, what else relevant came from that line of questioning besides the rapid fire noise effect that Love did? So you were spot on. Thank you so much for the 5. Chloe Albert's Revenge says someone needs to notify The Price is Right that we know where their missing microphones went, and their perpetrator is dressed in plaid, an additional crime. I like plaid. I like plaid. I have no use for it living in Florida. Man, in New York in the fall and the winter, oh my gosh, I love plaid. So I will not hate on the plaid. I will not hate on it. You will not catch that from me. But yeah, the Price is Mike reference is hilarious. And Love was so happy to be able to offer a solution to fix the microphone issue. Like, look at me, I'm helping. Oh boy. Yeah, we got the option C. You're right. Shamika says, C, I don't want to hear her at all. Not at all. None of the voices. The squeaky chair sounds better than listening to Love. Oh my goodness. I prefer to listen with earplugs. Yeah, I would have liked to have heard the witness a little bit louder. Like the 911 calls played loud and clear. I didn't mind not really hearing Love well. That was fine with me. And I think we might be waiting for the next witness. I don't really know. It's a plausible reason, and it's something that has happened already, so. Okay, Chloe, I get you. It does kind of look like a pajama print pattern. Like the kind you can get like matching outfits for like the whole family. The parents and the kids all have the same plaid pajamas. Oh my gosh, imagine if the States table showed up matching not just colors, but had the same plaid blazer one day. I would die. Mulatto Gato says, how fast was the bullet, man? I'm not going to get over that. I'm not going to get over that. Like, I get that she was trying to identify what type of gun was being fired, but that was not a great way to ask a question to a lady that, you know, my guess, she's not going to be able to identify a weapon by how it sounds. Like, adjust your questions based on your witness. Did you do any prep at all? Thank you again for the good laugh. Black Butterfly says, lady said she was drinking vodka, so what exactly can she credibly remember but being shot? She was so pickled, she didn't know she was shot at first. And I would say, you know, you could kind of have shock as an issue for recollection. You're sleeping, you're winding down for the night, you're not in a position where you're on alert. So there's a lot of reasons you might not know the context.
Back up tomorrow with the jury again. So sorry about witnesses you may have had here, but just have them in the morning instead. Okay.
What?
All right, we'll be in recess till 2.
What just happened? Okay, we gotta go to Twitter. We gotta go to the Twitters. Let's go to Kathy Rasan. A recess till 2, and they're sending... Okay. No update from Kathy Rasan. What the heck just happened? Oh my goodness. Okay, I don't see any updates over from, we're gonna keep refreshing till I get some notifications. Well, they said to apologize to the witnesses that you had here. Right? I mean, we have the time to replay that real quick, obviously. We've got some time. Let's see. But she said sorry to the witnesses you already have here. Did I go too far? Hold on.
The jury.
Okay, the buffering symbol is for the whole trial at this point, not just Love.
Get done, and we'll pick back up tomorrow with the jury again. So sorry about witnesses you may have had here, but just have them in the morning instead. Okay.
Okay, so witnesses you may have had here. So it sounds like it's not sure if there were witnesses there, but the issue probably wasn't no witness ready to be called unless they absolutely need to call this next witness first. I don't see why that would be the case, because they given a list of witnesses out of order. So I don't personally think that witnesses are the reason. But they're sending the jury home and plan to reconvene for, it sounds like, I think it's an evidence issue, guys. I think there's a big evidence issue. And they're, a break from 11 to 2, that's a 3-hour break. So it sounds like an evidentiary issue that needs to be hashed out. What happened? Like, what is the state doing? What is the state doing? Yeah, this has to be something else. Let's go back and look at that little sidebar and look at their facial expressions real quick. I'm calling it that little sidebar with like an attitude. Where was that? Well, I'm going to pull these down. And it's a bit interesting that Love and Shart were up there first. Whitaker really looked pissed here. So I think this is where they find out they're going to have a huge delay and need to send the jury home. Because Whitaker only seems to get pissed when it's a big time waste of sending the jury home. Oh, so Mr. Williams did get hurt. Oh. Look at Trish. All right, that's interesting. I mean, I feel like at that moment, they for sure knew that they were going to have to send, or at least have a very long recess. Something came up. I feel like the state wasn't prepared with something evidentiary related, or Shart maybe figured out that they were going to try to introduce something that was never disclosed as something we're going to try to bring in through these next witnesses. And now we have to raise an issue with the judge, and the judge is like, well, this is going to take some time to figure out. We need to just send the jury home. This is not good. They just had a whole day yesterday to deal with evidence issues. Oh, man. Crazy. And I don't know, unless they absolutely need to call a specific witness next, I don't think a witness is the issue. Let's pull up and see if we get any feedback from... Joseph Papp. Oh, okay, a juror issue. Okay. So... apparently the break will be longer and the jury will be dismissed for the day. Whitaker said the break will be until 2. Court will resume with jurors tomorrow with the state's upcoming witness. It seems that something is going on with the juror, so Whitaker decided to just dismiss them for the day and continue tomorrow with the state's witness. And super shout out to Rose for the ping. So there you go, you guys. That's the update there. So, interesting. I mean, to be honest, the look on their faces on that sidebar seemed like it was something more significant than a juror. Yes, Colleen. Colleen with the 5 says, anyone catch love with the Carmela Soprano beckoning hand gesture? 1000%. And then I don't know who she was beckoning because nobody from the state went up there. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm thinking that wouldn't explain why they're not back till 2. So, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it was a double issue. So, the most I see here is from Joseph Papp, who says that it seems like something is going on with the juror, so they're dismissing the jury for the day. But yeah. So there we go. Oh yeah, my banner. Banner. There we go. That's updated. Thank you for the reminder. Yeah, so we have something up with the jurors. That's kind of where we're getting. And I do think they'll probably go back to, using the time for the rest of the day, 2 to 5. And we can stream that. I think they're just probably going to use the time for evidentiary issues this afternoon, which is fine. They'll probably do 3 hours or so, and we'll see if Love got any homework accomplished. Maybe they can finally discuss some of these long things. Yeah, that's true. She didn't bring them back, read them instructions or anything like that. That's true. I don't know. I don't know. And then there you go. So we'll linger here and we'll see. Steven Satchel says, Love has a future as a Foley artist for movies, doing the sound effects. Some of that stuff is cool, by the way, you guys. There's a lot of YouTube videos on it, like watching how they come up with weird sound effects for movies or how they record it to capture it so it sounds like it's really happening in real time when it's being recorded, but really like there could be pre-recorded door slam noises. Really, really cool stuff. Definitely suggest if you want to go down a rabbit hole of YouTube content to look up Foley artists. But yeah, that is what she sounded like when she did that automatopoeia of an AK. Army Nurse. Army Nurse for the 2 says, Love forgot to ask for the color of the bullet. Stop. Oh my gosh. 10 more questions just about something that the lady's not going to capably be able to answer. Mulatto Gato says, Ambulams. That always makes me think of the song Black Betty. Apunan, this is the 20 gifted memberships. Thank you again so much. That's super generous of you, and that's 20 new green Chat Rico gang members. Cat Chat Rico gang members. Unless, I think there's got to be some kind of both, unless maybe the extra time until 3 or 2, the 3 hours is we want to argue some evidentiary stuff, so can you use a couple hours to get stuff together? Like you guys have some prep time and then we'll come back at 2 after you've had that time to do some work. Then we can work on evidentiary issues. So maybe the only real issue is the jury has to be dismissed today because of a juror issue. And the judge said, look, we've got about 6 hours of court day left. Take 3 to get your homework done. And then let's start going over the homework for the last 3. So maybe that's just what it is. FFS says, Cat, no worries, I'll laugh for you. I'm laughing my butt off here without shots to the butt, no pun intended. Yeah, I feel bad, that poor lady. She's got to come on national TV talking about how she got shot at all and then shot in the butt. Like, that's, like, I always wonder, like, when I die, whatever the mechanism of my death is, I just hope it's not embarrassing. I don't want, you imagine, like, the tombstone, it's like, here lies blah, 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 died from, like, something silly. Like, I think legacy is great. I think it's not a great thing to get shot, of course, but to get shot in your butt and then have to say out loud that you were shot in your butt. It's just an extra layer of, it just makes me feel sad. Carrie Colton says, I'm sure surprised she didn't point her finger at the same time as the sound effect, you mean? Oh no, was it like this or was it like that? So I just ran in. What's the Danny DeVito meme? She should have just pulled up the Danny DeVito meme on the screen and said, was it like this? Oh man, this trial. Mixed chick with the summary here says, Love shows no compassion or empathy for anyone. Love is even getting an aggressive tone with the victim. I can't stand her. And I'm glad that didn't go on and on. If that was a multi-day witness, Love would have done something to really put the witness over the edge for no reason. Totally no reason. Thank you so much, Mixed Chick. And then Penny G had gifted 5. You guys know the drill. Penny G in the chat. Lottie B says, I hate that her name is Love. Yeah, this is a common thing that we're seeing a lot of people say. She totally ruined that word for me. When someone says I love you, I'll be like, what did you just call me? Oh no. and it's like, it's a sign that we're really tuned in on this trial. The association is just so strong now with the word love now meaning her name. I've been in the same boat when I've tried to write the word love. I'm like, let me specify that I'm talking about the lowercase. So I definitely get you. Thank you for the, I don't know what DKK is. Denmark. But what does it stand for? I gotta Google it. Oh, like a krona. Is it krona? So Danish krona. Very cool. Very cool. Now I know. Thank you, Lottie B. Weinstein motion should be adopted ASAP. And yeah. I mean, this isn't really like a foreseen or preventable circumstance, I would imagine. And I mean, shout out, we did get through 2 witnesses in that time, so that's kind of refreshing. In the beginning of the trial, when they were going through these detectives calling police officers, people that really only lay out timestamps and reports, we got through several witnesses per day. It's really like these bigger witnesses like Woody, and then Walter Murphy was on the stand forever. Gaither was on the stand for a long time because there were so many sidebars, long bench conferences. But a lot of, I think, who we're going to see called until we get to Thorpe, I think will be pretty quick. And it'll be really refreshing for you guys that haven't seen more productive days in this trial so far. I think the lack of productivity, again, is a unplanned circumstance. And let me double check here. Anything new? No. Yeah, just solidifying that it's a jury issue. So. And no, I have not covered where Doo-Wop is. That's, what's his name, Justin Cobb. The state doesn't seem to know where he is. They haven't found him. He hasn't been arrested. So they're just saying he's on the run. But that's definitely very interesting. If you guys watched the plea hearing for the severed co-defendants, it was back in June. Hilton was delivering, all the statements and arguments. She seemed like she really did not want to stay on that day, as if they were still looking for him up until the last minute. She didn't really want to say in court that day that they still couldn't find him. I'll find a link to that. I can drop a link if you guys want to watch that before we come back till 2. But definitely interesting that they have no idea where Justin Cobb is. But, we're still probably going to hear some evidence about him. And it'll be a good time. Another wasted day on stuff related to a co-defendant that has not been caught and is not sitting in this trial courtroom, and it could be confusing to the jury, but it can come in somehow because of the Rico charge. So that'll be a time. If you hear the name Doo-Wop, they are talking about Justin Cobb, who has not been arrested because they can't find him. So good times all around. Esquire, shout out for the super sticker. Good to see you. And then Nameless in chat, Cat, you rock. You smell jealous. Thank you for the 2. Peter Ortiz says, good morning. Let's hope for short questions and less objections. I know. Wish in one hand and in the other. You know what, Peter Ortiz? You came in here with high optimism, and then 2 minutes later they recessed for 3 hours. Thank you for the 20. Guys, to be fair though, at least maybe we'll get something productive done from 2 to 5. That would be refreshing too. Dee Dee Shep became a member. Thank you so much. Oh, Pippi. Shout out to Pippi. Pippi's being lazy because there's only been 1 squeak today. So not much activity for the dogs listening for the squeaky toys out there. Tamika, good to see you, says, thanks for whomever said how to super chat an iPhone. Yeah, shout out to you Apple users. They're trying to lock you out. Thank you so much, Tamika. And then Pierre Nesmith says the bib she's wearing. Wait, the bib she's wearing. Oh, the ruffles, not the plaid. I get the European court thing now. I got you, Pierre. Thank you. Michelle Warden decided to slime somebody, so new gifted membership. Thank you, Michelle. I hope you're doing well. I know you had a lot. I would be anxious too, I can imagine, with the kids in the school, everything you had to deal with yesterday. So I hope you're doing better today. Good to see you. And then Jake Kellerman, so the seat change, it seems like what I've heard is contraband issues. I was relayed, thank you to She Loves Fantasy and a few other members in the chat, relaying from Sylvia that it seems to be contraband issues and it involves Rodalius Ryan. So that's a mess. That's the young-looking co-defendant, Mr. Williams and Miss Abbasi's client. That is Rodalius Ryan, and it appears that they had some intel. They thought he was sneaking contraband. That's all I know about it. That's all I've heard. But most of the seats have been switched around. They just moved Rodalius Ryan forward and put Yak back a seat. So that's the update on the seating. And then, as Satchel says, good intentions, the common material to build a road to Hades. Yeah, and it's like once you're on the road, it's hard to go back to the drawing board. People really don't see the road of crazy that they're going down until it's too late. It's the mad scientist phenomenon. So I do want to think that, hopefully, to be optimistic, Love at least thinks she's doing something good. She thinks she's really fighting for justice and just has blinders on so bad that she doesn't understand that she's missing pieces that are important to this case and tunnel visioning on people that might not actually be the culprit for the things she's accusing them of. So, but that's just me trying to lean towards being optimistic in some way, shape, or form. But it is a really real thing that people go down the road with conviction and they're wrong the whole time. And it has bad implications for the people that they're targeting with whatever they think, their perception, their truth, their reality. If they paint the picture wrong, just because their picture's wrong doesn't mean that it doesn't impact the people they're incorrectly portraying. So really, really sucks. Really, really sucks to think about. And I guess I can only hope that something finally clicks one day. And anything where she doesn't really have solid evidence, maybe the state decides one day to reconsider. Do I think that's likely? No. Do I hope for that? Yeah. Thank you so much for the food for thought. Penny G says Weinstein motion. Yeah, we did this one. Absolutely. I still agree. Yeah, hi says, oh, Judge, that's all. I mean, it's always palpable when you could tell the judge, that sidebar, she was absolutely upset because she knew there was going to have to be a delay in time. That's her pain point, her pet peeve. That was that face. Unnamed and unindicted. Hold on, is this? Well, Justin Cobb's named. And he's on the run and he's indicted. So we have a little Mike. We have a Quez. We need a name for unnamed and unindicted. A fantasy name. Shout out to Unnamed and Unindicted for becoming a member. You're somehow part of the gang and you're just in the clear. We don't even know who you are. Be Frank About It says Bon Jovi remix, shot through the butt. No, you're to blame, darling. You give love a bad name. So now we've got Bon Jovi. Yeah, we've got... Who made Black Betty? Let me just Google it before I get it wrong. Ram Jam? Wait, they put their own name in their song? Did they say Ram Jam in the song? Or just something that rhymes with Ram Jam? I've got to listen to that song. It's been a long time. But we've got some throwback songs in here. Yesterday we had Cher. So shout out to all the music throwbacks. Nick Starro, my friend. Nick Starro says 180 subs to 10K subs. Oh, heck yeah. Heck yeah. Hold on a minute. We could do that right now. So guys, if you're heading out, I think we'll probably break this and reconvene at 2. So if you're not in East Coast, that's just shy of 3 hours from now. I think we'll cut the stream. Otherwise, who wants to listen to me talk for 3 hours? Unless you guys want to watch something old, so we could do a rerun for 2 hours. But if you are going to head out, or if you just want to take a quick second to hop over to Nick Starro and get him to 10K. He's so close. Does a ton of deep dives on not just things going on with YSL, but also other cases, and also a bit with Fulton County. Great resource for Shane Kendall. And Nick also says 10K celebration next Friday with an AMA and almost AMA, all invited. And Kat, you get one free question. Oh boy, I gotta think about a question for the whole week. I'm assuming Love's not invited because she could never keep it to one question. So we're going to do that. And then I know tomorrow is the panel show. I'm helping with a website launch. So Nick, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to try to hop on, but it will not be for a long time. I've been doing late evening web development meetings because our web developer lives in a time zone that's like 10 hours apart. So, and I've been scheduling that around 7 p.m. my time each day. So it's been a fun week. Our website, we're switching it over Sunday night. So fingers crossed for that. But it's been hard to do these Friday streams, but I will try to make this week's. So one more time, if you guys could show Nick Starro some love. I already see we got at least another 10 subs since the first link. It'd be so cool if you could hit 10K today and at least before tomorrow's regular Friday panel stream. Super friend of the channel. Appreciate you for the chat. You don't ever have to chat. I am happy to support you no matter what. Nobody ever has to chat. Appreciate you guys. But Nick really deserves 10K. He has been in the trenches with this case for a very long time. And before I was streaming, he is where I really lurked and watched, like, pre-trial, the first probably about 60, 70 days before I got caught up in another case. So big shout out, always love for Nick Starro here. FO3 is ready, says Lil D's sister says love stalling because D is missing. Oh, is that real? For real? Is that for real? I can picture it. I can totally picture this. So many people are talking about the case, so like going on Instagram, and I know Trivia was talking to somebody. Let me find that video for you. I think Flesh of the Gods pulled it up. Maybe it wasn't her. Oh yeah, it was. Okay. So Antrivia, the girl that, you know, Mungtung Shell Kel, the girl that was apparently YSL gang girl, but it was really just someone that Mungtung was involved with, that Love was saying everything surrounding Trivia was gang activity. She's been speaking on social media. It was a little interesting, and Flesh of the Gods clipped it. So check that out. Just posted the link in the chat. And Jamila Jackson gifted one. Thank you so much. And I love that StreamYard put your name in green. You're like gifting slime. Super green in here. And that brings us to 67 members for the day. Let me update my banner. 67. That is super awesome. Because we had another 5. So 67. Thank you so much to K Grammar. You gifted a bunch of memberships yesterday and another 5 today. So thank you so much. Not just for your generosity, but for giving something that the chat can benefit from. And Peter Ortiz says, remember Nightmare on Elm Street? Guess who played the part of Freddy? One guess only. Oh, is that why you guys were... Is that why you guys were like dropping... I saw someone say love, love, definitely love, and then I think Tamika said Thorpe. I think, you know, is there a hybrid answer? Can one answer be Dennis and Gaither combining their stripes? Their hoodie stripes from that one detective interview? There we go. And you guys are saying Thugger Daily's page. What am I missing? Okay, thank you for tagging me. So this is just alleged, right? We're getting... Did you see this from his alleged sister? Alleged, alleged, alleged. We don't know. He is definitely not running. They know exactly where he is, and he's not under subpoena. They know this. They call every day. He don't mention my brother. How you know they looking for him with a flashlight? Stop reporting the wrong information. I'm assuming that's just a line to the Future song. Not literally with a flashlight. Stop reporting the wrong information. They're definitely not looking for him. They know exactly where he's at. So, no clue, no clue, no clue. That could just be somebody out there in the netherworld. So, I am not confirming that at all. But it's there for you guys to do what you want with it. And shout out to this reminder. 16 jurors left, 4 alternates, you guys. Yeah, allegedly, allegedly, allegedly. And I do think, you know, it's been said that Zachary was dealing with some health issues too. So they didn't name him when they said they repeated their upcoming witnesses yesterday. When they did it the day before, they didn't mention Zachary, and they kind of like Love kind of winced and acted like there might be another witness, but she didn't want to name it. And then yesterday she did not name Zachary at all. So I don't even think they'd be planning to call him in at least the next couple of days. So it makes sense that they're probably not calling Zachary like be here today, be here tomorrow, if they're pushing him back 6 or 7 witnesses. So, but yeah, so there's that, you guys. What do you guys think about coming back at 2 p.m.? I'll duplicate a stream. It'll be this like same thumbnail, and we could come back in 2.5 hours. So we'll do that. We'll do that. Anything else before I go? Heck yeah, did everybody sub to Nick? We'll do that to close out. I see we got another 10 at least. It went up another, you know how YouTube does the 9.84. We were at 9.82. So on the way out, subscribe to Nick. Probably watch a ton of content. And we'll come back at 2, you guys. You guys all take care. And I almost said see you next time, but I'll say see ya in 2.5 hours. Bye.